So there was a verse in the Bible that whenever two or more gather in my name, there I am in the midst. So it's paraphrasing a little bit. I could say it's Matthew 3:16.
It's almost a biblical concept.
Well, I think it's a universal concept. I mean, it's biblical. It is Hindu, Taoist, whatever you want to say. I think it's a universal principle and concept. That's just what came to mind was the Bible.
Everybody knows that. I mean, that's a very common scripture. Where two or more are gathered in my name, there is an additional mind.
But would you agree that it has to be...
Christ mind is there.
Yeah. Or even, yeah, definitely. Would you agree that you have to come with a humble spirit? That if you bring the ego in, it's not necessarily there? Because I went to a lot of different types of book studies, different types of Bible studies when I was younger, and it was always very ego, very debate-oriented.
I didn't get much out of it.
Yeah, it was kind of like a political debate, or there wasn't a spirit there. There wasn't a passion and drive in those groups. It was almost too much ego and defending a belief, a stand, and not so much about allowing a presence or hooking into the presence and then allowing the flow or the information to come through. I don't know if you guys have experienced that, but I have.
Well, I think when we start and we read the masterminding principle, that sort of sets the intention for us.
I agree. I mean, this started flowing after reading that.
Maybe those groups you went to didn't really have an intention.
Well, no, definitely not.
Well, just like being on a school board, each of the individual board members have their own agendas, and that's their own
school
egos.
politics. Oh, come on now.
And so, in that relationship, the mastermind principle can't work. It has to be, like Richard said, a harmonious cooperation.
So I see. Yeah, it's good.
You don't see that in school boards, huh? No offense, is it Silver Falls School District?
Are we ready to bring up the audience participant at this time?
For the commercial?
Mm-hmm. How do you want to do this? At this point, John, should we bring that person up now? So, we don't need it in this, do we? I'd like us to start thinking about that, though.
Okay. Okay.
How much were we planning on taking and filming today?
I just thought we were doing a commercial, so
Yeah.
half an hour, 45 minutes.
To an hour.
To an hour, yeah. Whenever she runs out of tape or wants to leave.
Okay.
We can talk about Jane. She could be the audience participant.
We have our audience.
He just walked in.
Two
He just walked in.
Talk about a living presence.
There he is.
He floats. He doesn't walk.
But he brought presents.
That's Father Rich, by the way.
Well, what about spirituality? See, we've talked about...
Well, here's what I wanted to... Darryl mentioned something about The Secret. The film, The Secret.
I'd rather talk about the monologue part. Just kidding. Continue.
I'd rather hear you talk about it. You mentioned that The Secret... The truths are there.
The gurus are...
But it's presented in such a way that the ordinary individual watches it, says, boy, that's great, and then how am I going to relate to this? How is it going to help me to rise above it all?
How do you get that into the consciousness of the body, in the body memory, in the unconscious, subconscious, whatever your beliefs are?
It's just like everything else you have to work at. You have to take, it's a day-to-day process. You don't just read the book and say, okay, I got it. You don't read the Bible and say, I got it. It's something you have to work on a daily basis, whether it's through meditation, silent meditation, whatever the situation may be. I mean, people in The Secret, Jack Canfield has a $4 million mansion. I don't relate to that.
You don't.
Not yet.
I was worried about having my power turned off.
There you go.
You know, that's what I relate to
Mhm.
in everyday living.
That's the truth. You told me that earlier.
Mhm.
So,
You know, I love the movie The Secret, but I think it misleads people, because when I watch the movie The Secret, it makes it seem that you can decide you want something and just say an affirmation every day and it'll happen.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
I see.
It's more of knowing, deciding, yes, what you want. That's really important, to know what you want. But then it's a matter of adding to what The Secret says, and actually thinking about, visualizing in your mind, but also feeling in your heart how you would feel if you had it. And then living your life day to day and doing things that come up, whether you want to call that intuition, guidance, following that knowledge that's given to you, or the guidance that's given to you, and then doing those things. It's not sitting on the sofa watching TV and saying your affirmation every day and what you want shows up.
But what if I really, really, really want it? Is that going to make it happen?
No,
In and of itself?
There has to be action.
there has to be action.
Part of the problem that we have, and one of the reasons why most ordinary people
Don't rise above it all.
don't get what they want, because they're so inundated with the negative. They say we think 60,000 thoughts a day.
Oh, God.
How many of those thoughts
And negative.
are negative? Negative and positive cannot exist in the same plane. So you have to eliminate the negative.
And is this brought out in the film?
No.
You know, what I was thinking was, true to the, it's a movie, right? In a sense, it's a movie, it's a film, and true to the general public, in any such film, any movie you see, I think, I have to believe, I really have to believe that the people that put that together are aware of every other principle that goes into effect to make the law of attraction happen. But catering a little bit to the general public, they had to make it quick, they had to make it very simple, and the message I got from the film was, if you want something, you can have it. Well, that is true, but not in and of itself. And in other words, I'm trying to give them a little bit of, I don't know how to put it, but I want to give them the credit that they are fully aware that it may require everything that the two of you have already mentioned. And in addition to those, a few more things to bring to pass whatever it is that you truly, truly want to fulfill your life, to satisfy your life. But the film did not allow them to do that. We get to do it right here.
We do.
can hash it out.
We do. With The Secret, what we see is a finished product.
Exactly.
The way I view that is look at all the relationships it took to bring that finished product about. I mean, I know a certain networking group that most of those people belong to. That's how the relationships were formed. And then there's a relationship with the creator, relationship with all the different people in it to manifest or create that finished material product. It took nothing but relationships and money and backing, and it's who you know. You know, and all those people were in that networking group together. They did the Secret together, and we experience it differently than they experience it. They see it as a wonderful project. That's what we're doing. That's what anyone else can do. It's all about the relationships, the mastermind, getting together on the same note, the same wavelength for a project, brings it about super quick, super fast. And that's, to me, what's missed in The Secret is that relationship aspect of letting your walls down, letting that ego down, and allowing. One of the things that I noticed that was addressed in it was action. The universe likes speed. I think it was Joe Vitale that was talking about that. That you are presented all the time with an action. That we deny it, we judge it, we criticize it, we label it.
But there is a process getting to that action. I mean,
Of thinking.
Of thinking.
Of desiring.
yes.
Of desiring. Not so much wanting. To me, wanting is a separation, but yeah, there is that process of thinking that gets you to that action. You know, because we thought about being here at, say, 3 o'clock today.
Mhm.
You know, we're here in physicality, but if we didn't have those thoughts first, those ideas, this wouldn't have manifested. Jane wouldn't be here.
And success in our daily life, we're all successful one way or another.
Yeah, I love that.
You can be successful in failures. And insanity is,
Look at Homer Simpson, right?
if you want to use that example. We're talking real life here.
Oh, all right.
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. And if we really want true success, then we need to change that thing that we're doing over and over to,
And Daryl, is there like is there a secret? Is there a process to finding out what it really is that you want? You know, I want this, I want that, I want this. But I mean, we're talking in terms of true satisfaction, fulfillment of the purpose for which you were created and why you were sent here in the first place. Once you find out what that is,
part of it is learning to hear within yourself. I had a friend of mine that went to a 10-day retreat where she had to meditate 10 hours a day.
Oh, had to?
That was part of her objective, was to meditate 10 hours a day. The first 2 days drove her absolutely crazy because of all the chatter that was in her head.
mhm.
We have all this chatter that, you know, we should be doing this, we should be doing that.
Judgments, man.
Exactly. But we need to be able to clear our mind out, because when we do that, when we have that silence, then we can hear God.
That brought up a lot of, you could say, programming of the religious kind about clearing your mind out. Would you expand or explain what you mean by clearing your mind out? Because that's when the demons get you. That's what I was taught when I was younger.
Well, part of it is actively, like I said, it was clearing all of those dirty thoughts, all those, you know, those, like I said, we have 60,000 thoughts a day. And we need to eradicate those from our thought process.
Okay, so you're talking about silencing thought rather than emptying your mind or anything.
Correct.
Okay.
And then doing that, when you do that, you have a good chance of listening and finding out what it is that is your bliss, your passion. Again, I go back to the term, the very purpose for which you were created. I thought you were grabbing my notes.
No.
I was stopping you.
Yes, we started today when I saw you today. As you saying, I got what I wanted.
I did.
So, how did you know that?
I knew it through an inner satisfaction,
Okay.
pure and simple.
Is it something you love?
It was something I loved. I came in connection with something I loved to do, and
So,
I
could you explain the
got what I
process? You had thoughts about it. You had intentions. Then you followed action.
well, the process began with actually. I know that it is what I love to do. The very thing that was brought about today is the very thing that I love to do. And so when that came together, when I got it, what it is that I love to do, I had that deep, deep inner satisfaction that lets me know that is one of the purposes for which I was created. I think when you match the passion, once you find out what it is, that's your purpose. Then you found your purpose.
So you have found your purpose, and so your purpose lined up today.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did that happen every day?
No.
How would you define purpose or